Hello! Welcome back to the Insider channel. Welcome back. Before we start today's video, I wanted to thank you, the viewer, fellow human being, for sharing this moment in time with me. I hope this video finds you well, and yeah, I hope you are full of love and light in this moment and full of peace, even though we're gonna lose some peace in this video. But thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. I appreciate it, and for being open to question reality with me. For today's video, we're going to touch on a concept that I like to call fake wellness. Fake wellness is essentially a part of fake news, but to be more specific, fake wellness stands for any concept, practice, or service that promises us, the consumers, a happier life. It promises to enhance our health. It promises to solve all our problems just with one product.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Most of the time, it's either unnecessary, the use of this practice, service, or product, or, like we're going to touch on this video, actually very harmful for our health. Now, a little bit of backstory to today's topic. As I was going through the grocery store and I was snooping, as I do, into people's carts, I questioned, how did we do it? How did we manage to go from growing our own food to eating things that I wouldn't consider food itself? How did we go to that? How did we disconnect so far? I really wanted to know how detached we are from the concept of true health, because I genuinely think a lot of people do not know how health looks or feels like. Well, to put into context, this is how detached we are from the concept of health. We are so detached to the point that there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that proves how detached we are. And that is the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry made a very humble $1.48 trillion in 2022. Meaning, if you're catching up, that this industry profits out of people being sick. This industry has only made more and more profit with time. So I don't think we're actually getting any healthier. And that led me to think, so wait, why is there such a big, health industry? There must be a glitch in the system, because there's no way that there's a multi-billion-dollar industry that belongs to the concept of true health, and then there's a multi-billion, almost trillion-dollar industry that proves that people are not actually getting healthier. Nothing is real. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everything we do as a society, as a modern society nowadays, in the name of health, is very counterintuitive. And what do I actually mean by counterintuitive? See, an example is the concept of putting on sunscreen to block off the sun because we are fearful that we might get skin cancer for stepping outside for 2 seconds.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
To then take vitamin D supplements because most of us are vitamin D deficient. And if you don't believe me, I'm bringing stats to this conversation. A whopping 1 billion people globally are vitamin D deficient. And in America alone, 35% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. So yeah, either the sunscreen isn't that good of an idea, or our diets are deficient. But then, to continue our counterintuitive concept of health, there's some individuals that choose to also feed another multi-billion-dollar industry like the cosmetic industry and purchase tanning products in order to look tan. Okay, sure. Another example can be we take dietary supplements like melatonin in order to go to sleep at night, because a lot of people struggle to go to sleep, to then the next day wake up and have to depend on an energy drink if you are insane, or a caffeinated drink like coffee in order to wake up. And for some individuals that consider themselves gym rats, muscle mommies, or fitness influencers, you depend on pre-workout to do a good workout. It's giving counterintuitive. It's giving we're not actually evolving and we think we are. And it's giving we're wasting too much money to look healthy and to promote wellness when we're not.
She's got a point.
But see, I like to think that it's not completely our fault. We are, after all, a consumeristic and propaganda-driven society. We are very blind to all the decisions we end up making when it has to do with our health. We want to buy the latest sunscreen or skincare routine because this celebrity said it's the reason they look so young, when in reality we know that was not the reason they look that young. But I digress. We want to buy the latest energy drink, creatine, pre-workout because our favorite influencer or fitness guru uses that, and that's the only product that gave them results, I guess. Okay. I understand they're probably sponsored by that said brand, which pay your rent, get your coin. But as consumers, we are responsible for our own health, and we should be able to see through that if we care for our health. Disclaimer before we start. This is my opinion. Everything I'm gonna say from now on, everything I have said, everything I'm probably gonna say for the rest of my life is my opinion. It is my view of reality and the world and how it functions, okay? As an individual who simply believes in a lifestyle that is more accordance to nature and finds curiosity in anything that is far from nature, whether that be concepts, practices, or products. I am not a doctor. Okay, I am not a doctor. I'm too young to be a doctor, but this is my take based on the research that I've done and the specialist I have talked to on these said wellness products or wellness practices that might not be as necessary or safe as we think they are. So, mis amigues, don't take it too personally, please. It is not a crime to question reality, okay? Now let's get into it. You know, as I was sipping on my turmeric lemon ginger tea to go to sleep, two very sad events came to my mind. Number one, the fact that the next World Cup is going to be in 3 years. I don't know if it was only me, but the last one really moved me. And allegedly in the United States. I'm sorry, who set that idea?
Why?
The second one was the fact that there's individuals in the world that can't really go to sleep or has trouble sleeping or struggle with sleeping disorders. And you may be thinking, they're so different. Well, that's how my brain works, okay? We're not judging here. But I dwelled on the second concept. And I asked myself exactly how many people struggle to fall asleep. The Sleep Foundation, which I'm not mad at it. I did not know it was a concept or a thing, but cool. 35% of people in the world do not feel they get enough sleep, and therefore they believe it affects their mental and physical health, which it obviously does. And if you thought, 35%, whatever, that's about 2.7 billion people. I don't know. That just really hit home. I was like, damn, there's some brothers and sisters out there that can't fall asleep. Exactly 2.7 billion? Suspicious. And according to the 2019 census, in the US alone, 10 to 15% of adults struggle with chronic, keyword chronic, insomnia, which most of the time, if it's chronic, they have to be medicated. And that is, again, pretty tragic. I think it's very sad as a person that believes that good quality sleep is equally as important as getting good quality hydration and nutrients from your food. And the NHLBI, which if you did not know what it was, it's the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. I don't know who decided to put that name, but I think it was the NIH. NIH, you forked it up a little. Why? They stated that in 2022, 50 to 70 million people have an ongoing sleeping disorder, whether it be sleep apnea, insomnia, or narcolepsy. Again, what's going on? I would say it's pretty simple to fall asleep, but these stats just made me think, what is going on? We need to really search this, because it seems to be a, can I say it? Plandemic? Let's say that. It's not a plandemic, but anyways. But if you guys remember anything from this video, it's gonna be this. Quote me on this. Behind every health problem, there's already a multi-billion-dollar industry. I thought sleep was going to kind of skip this concept. But they don't. Sleep doesn't. They them don't. According to Forbes, the global sleep economy, yes, the sleep economy, which includes everything from bedding to sleep medical devices, makes a whopping $432 billion a year. 432 for my Spanish speakers in the back, 432 billones de dólares al año. What? The sleep economy? I did not know it was a thing, and let alone that they're really banking. They're making cash. And in the US alone, yes, because we do not fall behind ever. We don't. I'm acting like I'm from here. I'm not. The sleep market, which again, it's a term, was valued at $65 billion in 2022. The sleep market. Are you catching my drift? No, not yet. But you will. You know, even though there's a lot to cover when it comes to the sleep economy / sleep market, which I found out doing my research, we're just gonna go mainstream because the mainstream products are the ones that irk me the most, especially when they say they are a healthier alternative to bettering sleep quality. We're going to present melatonin to the chat. Yes, we're going to talk about melatonin. Melatonin gummies and dietary supplements, to be specific. We're not going to deep dive in the melatonin that our body produces, but specifically the one that is sold to us, which when I started doing this research, it came to my head, hold on. This is kind of sus because melatonin, if you guys did not know, is a hormone. I actually knew this, but somehow completely forgot it because, you know, it's a hormone being sold over the counter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to know what melatonin actually is. Let's get to know her a little, you know. In its natural form, melatonin is a hormone that our brain produces when it detects darkness, aka, naturally speaking, nighttime. Key, let's keep this in our head. Melatonin is a hormone that our body already creates by itself because she's an independent woman, okay? It's not a vitamin, it's not a mineral, it's a hormone, and if it's bottled, it's probably synthetic at best because, you know, the real one our body produces, so it wouldn't make sense for it to be bottled. Okay, so even though these dietary supplements are not bad, most people that consume melatonin gummies or melatonin supplements abuse of them. And when you expose the body to high quantities of essentially any substance, it becomes dependent on you supplying it with said substance. And that's where the problem lies, really. Not only that, but did you guys know melatonin is meant to be used short term? It's the safest way to consume melatonin is short term and not recommended, no bueno, if you're using birth control or you're diabetic. So, you know, that's very interesting because I'm pretty sure there's at least one individual in the world that consumes both melatonin, birth control, and is diabetic. Based on the stats of how unhealthy people are, there's probably a couple of you guys, so let's be honest. I'm not attacking, it's just a warning. If you are using birth control again and you're diabetic, just probably skip out on the melatonin supplements or, you know, stop consuming birth control or, well, yeah, those two. And even though melatonin, again, can be helpful for some people that really, really struggle to fall asleep, we have to stop abusing of them. They are not candy, you guys. I know they look funny and they probably taste like gummies. They are not candies. And we're gonna get into why they can actually really harm you. You know, this is what shook me. This is what really shook me and irked me a little because melatonin, yeah, is not a regulated substance in the United States. She's not regulated. She has to follow no rules, basically. See, the US is one of the few countries, of course we are, that considers melatonin a dietary supplement and not a drug. Unlike the UK, you need a prescription from a doctor to receive melatonin, which I would think makes more sense than it being accessible to even teenagers and children because, again, it's a hormone. Even though melatonin manufacturers are expected to meet FDA standards, there is, quote, not a systematic process to, I can't believe I'm saying this, to ensure that the melatonin you purchase is exactly what it claims to be. I'm sorry, what? This basically means that these melatonin manufacturers are given by the FDA allegedly, this is based on research that I've done. They're given a paper that says rules, that it's titled rules, but there are no rules in the paper. There's no rules. But they have the paper that says rules, but there's no rules to follow. AKA, the melatonin that is sold, allegedly, in your local grocery store can either be a fancy, more expensive adult candy or steroids in a bottle.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
Okay, yeah, sure. And I wanted more proof on the fact that these melatonin manufacturers were being very weird and sus. And I came across a study that they did with melatonin gummies that are sold in the United States currently. And the analysis showed that the majority of these products, or sold as dietary supplements, were inaccurately labeled, containing 74 to 347% the amount of hormones listed on the label. What? Meaning that you can OD with melatonin supplements. I'm sorry, what? And again, you guys, I do not skip on looking for proof. And there is proof. Between 2012 and 2022, more than 27,000 teens in the US visited a healthcare facility after consuming too much melatonin, of which nearly 4,100 had to be hospitalized. I'm sorry, am I the only one who did not see this in the news? But you may be asking, where's the lawsuit? Like, where's the people suing? Babes, remember, melatonin is not a regulated substance in the US of A. Yes, you can't sue them. Peter Cohen, a professor at Cambridge Health Alliance, stated that, quote, melatonin can cause seizures and respiratory failure if consumed at very high doses.
See, this ain't it.
Again, who's covering this? It's giving health hazard. It's giving warning. Besides the obvious research they need to redo or actually do on these melatonin gummies, we still haven't answered the question of why people need to take them in the first place. Why are they struggling so much to fall asleep? Even though there are some other reasons why people can't fall asleep. Maybe it's trauma, or I don't know the individuals by heart. But for the majority, let's say it's very simple. See, as beings of this earth, we share a natural clock with nature called the circadian rhythm. In the morning, when the sun rises, our body creates cortisol to wake us up. And at night, when the sun goes down, our body creates melatonin to relax our muscles and allow us to go into deep sleep and recover. The real question really is, what the heck are we doing that stops the natural process of melatonin? One, if not the most common reason, because you guys, let's stop being hypocrites. We all do this. We have at least done this at one point in our life. We expose ourselves to high quantities of light, specifically blue light. I know there's a concept that blue light is the only light that stops melatonin production. You guys, it's every light. It's light itself. Just go to sleep and turn off the lights. I know we don't really understand darkness because we have light pollution now, so we don't really see darkness or true darkness most of our life. But darkness, according to the NIH, if you didn't believe me, let's ask the NIH. When we are exposed to any type of light during the night, it can block all melatonin production. It wasn't me. It was the NIH who said that. Do with that what you will, okay? So most of us doom scroll at night, wondering why we can't fall asleep. And then with our impatient ass, we pop a melatonin gummy filled with fillers, sugar, and synthetic hormones, creating a spike in our melatonin levels and a shock in our system. All in the name of health? Where? I know there's propaganda behind this, and I know, but we need to clean our subconscious a little because we're starting to not make sense anymore, okay? Now that we're done attacking the pharmaceutical health industry, you may be asking, what are some alternatives to having good quality sleep? Well, let me tell you, again, disclaimer, not a doctor, but this is what I personally have used, and I've spoken to doctors and professionals that do recommend this. Try implementing minerals. For example, a good mineral that promotes good quality sleep is magnesium. Magnesium helps relax the body, allowing muscles to recover for you gym rats and muscle mommies, got you. And it's been shown to support the SNS, which is the central nervous system. And of course, bringing stats to the table. As a matter of fact, most people are deficient in magnesium. A whopping 90% of the population is deficient in magnesium. Newsflash, magnesium is responsible for over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. So, I would say pretty important. And if you're more into herbs or into drinking tea before you go to bed, valerian or Valeriana officinalis, she is the most studied plant for sleep disorders. It improves quality of sleep, allowing individuals to reach deep REM sleep faster and for longer periods of time. Other studied herbs are lavender and chamomile. Lavender significantly improves sleep quality and helps with anxiety if you're an anxious sleeper. And chamomile, which I did not know this for you moms, helps with postpartum sleep disorders and insomnia. Consult your doctor before taking any of these herbs or before taking anything. Not only the herbs, not only the minerals, but also the hormone. And remember, implementing a little bit, un poquitito, de biohacking into your routine is preferable if you want to get to know your body better and live a healthier life. If you're interested in researching some of the products that I use to reach REM sleep and recover like a queen and goddess, or a king, if you're a king, I left some links in the bio to the teas, loose leaf teas, very important, and the magnesium that I implement into my health routine. Hasta la próxima. Ciao.